This is Ivy Doom Kitty, and you're watching Geek Out SA.
Welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Tuesday again at 8 p.m. Thanks for tuning in, and I have some people with me here.
Yay, people!
I have Jennlee from Jennlee Cosplay, and I have Carlos from CM Propworks. Got that right?
Yes.
Cool.
We're all waiting.
But before we get to that, I posted this because we got in some awesome NASA news in today. And apparently, what is it, Kepler 2 has discovered
aliens, Martians.
1,284 exoplanets.
What's an exoplanet?
What's an exoplanet? I was waiting for you to ask me that.
I don't know what that is.
An exoplanet is a planet that revolves around another star, like another sun or another star. That's an exoplanet. That's not here.
So a planet that's like bound within a solar system.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not ours. That's an exoplanet. But of that 1,284, 36 of those are in the Goldilocks zone.
So bears live there?
No.
Oh.
Bears don't live there.
But they could live there.
Not too hot and not too cold. They're just right. So they're just right to be inhabitable. So kind of like in the zone that Earth's in right now around the sun, these planets are in that same inhabitable zone.
So there might be carbon-based life forms there.
There might be carbon-based life forms, but I was listening to it live when NASA announced it. And I was like, come on, aliens. No, there wasn't aliens.
No, still no aliens?
More possibility for aliens. They might just not be telling us.
I mean, who at this point doesn't believe that there's possibility of aliens? Like, at this point, you have to be pretty naive.
Well, Pastor Hagee, Pat Robertson.
Right, because Earth is 2,000 years old, I forgot. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yikes. I mean, I think you have to believe that there's the possibility of alien life forms being out there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not exactly like us, but people need to get that idea out of their head. That
I
that's
hope
the
their
only
knees
way.
bend backwards.
Their knees bend backwards.
That would be
That would
awesome.
be awesome.
What was that one movie where they did that?
Was it science?
No, I don't think so. But they would just like. They were like Inhumans, and they was it No, it was something else.
It was something creepier, right? I feel like it had a creepy vibe to it. Like I'm getting this
And they would like jump really high after they like switched their knees back that way.
That's just hurting me.
It was really creepy.
Carlos is like, I'm scared. I want to leave.
Like, oh, why did I come?
Squeamish backwards turning legs.
And there go our guests.
Yes, run screaming. Yeah, but the thing about it is, like, the closest one is 11 light years away.
Oh yeah, and you had no idea when the exoplanet was, because I told you about it earlier. Yeah, it's 11 light years away. Our current technology allows us to go 1/600th of a light year in 30 years. 1/600th.
So essentially, on that time scale, anybody who would try to make that would be dead by the time they get there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 'cause what is it? 30 years.
You'd have to
600,
procreate.
So like 18,000 years to go 1 light year, and we need to go 11. So,
Yeah, they'd be dead.
Yeah, like 198,000 years.
Oh, you see, that's
or
why we
something
need
like
to work out, the cryo technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cryostasis done.
Either
Freeze
that,
everybody.
or you'd have to reproduce, like as you're going, like you were
Yeah.
saying, like
Yeah, but
so it
that's
would
a
be
lot of
generations and
supplies.
generations, and yeah, it's a lot of supplies. You'd
So
have
you're
to take
better
a whole
off freezing
planet.
them.
You might as well take the Death Star and.
Kind of like in Aliens, where they put the people in the stasis chambers,
Yup.
Something like that.
Yeah, but then you get that, what's that weird movie where they wake up and they've been in stasis and there's a murderer on the ship and
Like which one? There's like a ton of them that are exactly
Gotta be a
that.
little more specific than that.
No, what's a scary one? I can't remember now. I forgot.
It's gonna come to us
But
later.
This is why none of us want to do these things. We've all watched too many movies and we're like, I can't go into space. I'm scared.
I'm still thinking of the alien one with their backward legs. It's like I've seen both what y'all are talking about, but I'm like, what is it?
Because they had really, really awesome, in those movies, they had really, really awesome costuming, which brings me to costuming, to cosplay.
Cosplay is life.
And that was my attempt at trying to segue into Jennlee. And so, Jennlee, so tell me a little bit what got you into cosplay.
Well, I haven't been doing this all my life. I started doing it probably early 2013 before Alma City Comic Con had their first convention take place. And I had my heart set on getting some tickets for San Diego. And that didn't fall through because it's like a huge lottery. And on Facebook, on the computer version, on the very far right side where it has the little ads and everything that have popped up, one of them says Alma City Comic Con. And I was all, when did we get a Comic Con? I only thought that San Diego was the only Comic Con ever. I didn't know there was like all these other branches like New York or anything. And so I clicked on it, and it was no joke. There was only 56 people that liked that page at that time.
Nice.
And the first post that I saw, the current one on there was that they're going to have a first cosplay or costume contest at the Bar 502. And they had different categories, and my first one, I wanted to be a video game type character because I didn't know too much about the comics or the movies or TV shows or anything yet. And one of my friends, well, a lot of my friends were dressed up as Lara Croft. I'm like, well, it's cliche, and I don't want to be a little risque.
Right?
And one of them was all, no, you need to do this one. So I have some, well, I don't know if you can see, but I'm wearing some of the pants that I made for it. And then the old shirt that I had was this. And
Nice.
I would actually go all out. I would, to the point where some places had to tell me to tone it down a bit, because I would make my hair really messy. I would actually make it look with lipstick, acrylic paint, eyeshadow, anything I can get my hands on. I would put the detail to make it look like I was dirty, like I just rolled around in the mud and stuff.
Wow.
And this is coming from someone who doesn't have any experience in makeup or any experience in special effects, but
Did you watch any kind of YouTube videos or anything to see how to do it?
Not
or
for
you
that.
just not for that?
Not
You
for
just
that.
kind of looked at what the character looked like and then just kind of went through your own process to do that. Well, that's really cool.
You know, what cosplay is really looking at something, figuring out how to do it, and then just trying your hand at it. Really.
See,
Now,
I think
you
it
do-
depends on
you-
who you talk to,
Yeah.
though, right? I think that there's a division among people in what cosplay is. There are those of us who feel like cosplay is that, right? Cosplay is looking at these characters that you love and putting your version out there, right? And then there are these other people who are like super purists. And right? And you have to be
To the T.
to the T, like body shape, body type, outfit perfect, hair done right, like no deviation from the character. So
you
y'all
need
are
to change
in,
the iris of your eyes.
Yes.
I'm kind of, me personally, I'm kind of in the mix of both. For me, cosplay it's been kind of an escape. I was always like the type of person that was nerdy, and I'm always still like that. But when it comes to cosplay, it's like one of those things where I can actually see a character, I can actually see the person who I want to be or who I'd like to be, and I just take it from there and do whatever I can to match it 100% within still staying the bounds of me being comfortable.
Right.
So it's there are people out there that that are purists in cosplay, where it's like they body shame others, and it's like, no, I mean, you can be whoever you want to be. Doesn't matter what you look like, as long as you're having fun. That's really what it is for me.
See, and I feel like that's the same way, and I like a lot of the like doing like the smash together stuff.
Oh, the
where
mashups.
yeah, where
Those are
you're
really
doing
cool.
like some type of mashup. I love to see like the Disney steampunk stuff, and what did I just saw
The Hello
like,
Kitty Donatello. Somebody needs
The
to
Hello
do
Kitty
that.
Iron Man.
yeah. I think the only one I'm really tired of is the Deadpool everything.
No.
You know.
I thought they would die down with that once they killed him off in the comics. No, he just came back in
No.
tenfolds. It's like, oh, here
No,
we
well,
go.
the movie made it so much
Yep.
worse. It was like at first it was just Deadpool, and Deadpool is a banana, and now it's
Deadpool
Oh, no,
everywhere.
even before the movie
And then
came
Gwen-
out, there
then
was
Deadpool everywhere.
The Deadpool mariachis and all of that other stuff.
And
We
now
even
Gwenpool-
have here a Deadpool, a Spurs Deadpool.
really.
Oh boy, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, it's San Antonio.
San Antonio. I mean, he's playing to.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jenny, do you prefer to stick in that video game genre? Is all your cosplay you think gonna come from that, or
No, I pretty much have some video games. I'm gonna do my first ever mashup with League of Legends Jinx, and I found a fan art. I can't think of the artist name on the spot, but yes, you probably know. There's a fan art of Jinx mashed up with Super Mario.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
really?
So, and I'm gonna make it realistic. I'm not gonna make it like the cartoon image that it has on there. So, and yes, I may turn to you for help on that.
Are you gonna need the Gatling gun? Because I'd kill to make that Gatling gun. That'd be so cool.
The wheels are like spinning. He's like
Every time
yes.
someone comes to me with like a cosplay or a prop idea, it's like I'm already in my mind just turning gears. Like, okay, I can do like this, 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 and this, and it's like, just give me a week and it's done.
But like not just the video games and stuff, but like I also do my most popular one. If it's not Lara Croft Reborn, it's the classic Rogue.
I've seen you do Rogue. Yeah, I really like your Rogue. I think that's really spectacular.
Thank you.
Did you make that yourself?
That was
or-
the only one I ever spent a lot of money on. The suit was over $400, and that was through Snake Pit Studios. And that I got that right when he released the screenshot of his, pretty much his very first print that he was still deciding which font and everything to use. I messaged him. We messaged back and forth, and it's a hit still. The jacket, I did not make it, but I did. I only spent like $3 to $8 on it through yard sale, and I just Velcroed the patches because I have like several different kind of patches I like, so I just switch them out. I did buy the little X-Men pins that I got at Heroes and Fantasies. And then the belt buckle, he sent me the little X buckle, but it was flat wood color. It was like almost like the tan. And I did the effects and the paint job on it.
Oh,
so.
nice.
And then I took 3 different belts that I found at a thrift store, tore them apart, Velcroed and everything, and that's what I made the belt with the little clips and everything, and it kind of hangs over the hip a bit. So it's just.
Yeah, it
it's
looks
all-
really good. Yeah, it looks really good. Like when I see that one. And your hair, do you?
My hair is real. The only thing that was fake were the bangs, the white clip-on. Yes.
So not a wig. So it's just your hair, your
It's
actual
just
hair.
the bangs. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Everyone asks me that all the time. They're like, "Where did you get the wig done?" Thanks for the compliment, but that's real. This part's not.
And just to let you all know, if you're watching right now, depending on where you are, if you're on geekoutsa.com, if you click on the button right above the video, right up here, then you can chat with us there. Just let us know, and if you have any questions for either Jennlee or Carlos, let us know, and I'll ask them for you. So, if you are on YouTube itself, you can also use the chat, the live chat there, and then we'll also take care of you there as well. So I'm on both. Colleen's looking at Chitango more, but yeah, if you have any questions, let us know, and we'll ask them. So Carlos, I see you have a prop. I saw the video. of you lighting up that
Yes.
that gun. So can you tell me exactly what that is and what you've done to it?
Okay, so what I have here is it's a water gun, a Nerf zombie in-strike water gun. I've completely gutted it clean. There was a green LED in the inside that I took out. It's an electronic gun, so there's a battery pack already that was built in with it. It took 3 AAA batteries. And I actually stream on Twitch as well, and I streamed it live. But what I did was I completely took some LED lights. For those of you watching, this is going to be Captain Cold's gun when it's done from Flash CW series. But what I did was my dad had got me some LED strip lights that you actually like put on the dash of a car to light up the effects on the inside, accent lighting. I trimmed them down, and I rewired the actual battery pack, and my dad helped me with that. And it's actually a rewired to actually take one 12-volt battery, like one of the little mini ones now. There's a pen spring, like from an actual clicky pen. It's actually hooked up to the spring that was for the AAA battery, so that way it can reach and touch the 12-volt battery. And then I have a nail in there as well to actually hold the spring in place, and that's just to touch the negative side. There's wiring that goes all throughout here in the handle, and once it's done, there's also going to be 3 LED lights to finish off the accent lighting. I have those on the way, and those are going to be pre-wired all the way down to reach the battery pack as well. So when you hit the button,
Nice.
Oh, nice.
everything lights up.
That's like a perfect color for that. Are you able to see that on camera?
So it's when I'm going to add...
Get up a little bit.
Oh, right
There
here?
you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So I have to add some more
So it's not
texture.
finished.
No, it's not finished.
So
It's on its way.
It's a work in progress, but that's cool.
Yeah, it took me 3 hours to rewire it, and that was just so that I could make sure I get the circuitry down right and make sure I had the positive and negative wires down. The only reason because I shocked the living crap out of myself when I did it
Nice.
last time. And that was because I didn't have it grounded properly on the negative side, so I ended up touching them, and I sparked myself with a little 12-volt battery, and that was not fun. Not fun at all.
But see, you learned from it.
Yes.
So did everybody else who watched you on
Yes,
stream.
so did everybody else. And everybody was laughing at me. And I was like,
You shocked yourself live?
yes, I was live.
Nice.
And that was because I accidentally let the negative wires, they crossed on each side with the positive ones, and I didn't realize that the battery was still in the pack and connected. And the way I had it sitting to where the button was pressed because I was working on the inside. And I didn't realize it was pressed because I was still trying to connect it, so the lights weren't lighting up.
Wow.
And then the wires went, and I just shocked myself, and I was like, okay, I need to take a break. Just real quick, I shocked myself.
Twitch out.
Yeah. So, but it was prop making has been it's been a good thing for me, actually. I get to visualize everything, and I'm really good with my hands, and I've always liked making things. So I've been running my little prop business for, 2 years now, I think? Yeah, for about 2, going on 3 years.
Nice.
When was it first? Yeah, about 2 years now. I've been running my little prop business.
Nice.
So
Yeah, because I don't even know if people would have even thought to use the electronics
that are already built in.
Yeah, once you were talking about that, I was like, oh my god, that's ingenious. Like, there's electronics already built in.
You just got to rewire it.
Reconfigure it.
And it takes a lot. If you don't know anything about circuitry, it's really just trial and error and hope for the best.
Right?
I guess you could say.
And don't shock yourself on Twitch. No.
Yes,
Or
don't
you,
shock
'cause
yourself.
then
Try
you'll
something
get more
out.
viewers. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error, but it helps that my dad helps me out with these things because he's a car installation radio specialist. So he does all the installation on my car and everything. So he knows a lot about the electrical currents, the amps, everything, the voltages. So he helps me out a lot with that, and I've learned from him. When it comes to everything else, though, like stuff like this, that's just my forte. But it's a lot of fun.
So tell us kind of a little bit of the process that you're going to go through. So now you've got the lights on.
The lights are on.
But this doesn't look exactly like Captain Cold's gun, right?
No.
So tell us a little bit, and you don't have to give us any of your secrets,
Oh,
right?
no.
But tell us a little bit about what the process is going to be like. Like how are you going to build it out? Because his gun is quite a bit bigger here, especially in the front.
It is. believe it or not, I found blueprints online for his gun that this show actually came up with to actually mold and make his gun. So I have the blueprints at home. Most of this back end right here, I'm going to end up chopping off to give it that curved look. And then it's just a matter of sanding everything down. Everything that I use is EVA foam based. And that's just because I like making my props for customers light and able to be used and carried throughout a con. Because when you're at a con, a lot of walking.
A lot of
walking.
A lot of walking.
And when they're holding the props, I make all my props custom, so key specific. Whatever the client tells me, I want my prop to be this, 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 and this. I'll make it this, 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 and this within the bounds of what I'm able to do. I like making my props lightweight so that people can use them and carry them for very long periods of time and without having any hassle.
Because a lot of times, especially if you have like really awesome costume with really awesome props, a lot of times when you're like that, you get stopped, and then you have to hold something and extend it, and then everybody wants to take your picture, so you're there holding whatever your prop is.
That was
you better hope it's not very heavy. Cause
that was my first prop that I made was actually for my girlfriend. She's the Harley Quinn cosplayer around San Antonio. She's got about 7, 8 different Harley Quinns, working on a 9th right now.
Wow.
And her first prop was an actual mallet that I made, and it would actually touch the ceiling in here. That's how big I made it.
Wow.
So it was. She's only 5'1", 5'2", so she's really, really tiny compared to the mallet I made her. And she's like, "Why did you make it so big?" And she used to be a go-go dancer, so she has platform shoes. And I was like, "Because you're going to be wearing your go-go stacks. That's why." And she's like, "Oh." And sure enough, when she wears them and carries a mallet, it compensates for the height difference.
Yeah.
But that mallet was, I made it out of PVC pipe and 2 of those plastic flower pots that you can buy at like H-E-B. And I glued them and screwed them together back to back, repainted it, and it took me 4 hours to paint the Joker's face on one of the cap ends. And I hand painted it.
Wow.
And that mallet was, she debuted it at the first Alamo City Comic Con that we had in town. And on the spot, some guy was like, "I'll give you $200 for it right now." And I was like, "No, nope, that's her mallet. It's her sell if she wants to." She's like, "No, this is like my baby mallet. This is my purse." So
is that when you came to say, "Well, maybe I should do this"?
That's when that's when it clicked back in 2013. It's like, okay, people actually like my work. I should start a business, and I've been doing that ever since. I get orders from Germany. I get orders from, I think the last order I had was from New Zealand or Australia. I couldn't ship it though, because they have their own rules and laws and regulations within customs. You actually have that license to have the airsoft guns we have in the States? You have to actually have a license to carry one of those in Australia.
Wow.
Oh, really?
They don't sell them in the stores. So I was like, I
Maybe
can't.
because too many people were like pinging the wildlife or something.
Well, they're just plastic BBs. Like the actual airsoft guns that shoot the
Yeah.
plastic 6mm BBs, you can't
Yeah, but
carry
if
them.
you hit some of the smaller
Oh, yeah.
animals and stuff like that, you could take them down. So.
Yeah, so I couldn't. I actually had to look into the customs laws before I actually decided if I was going to make the prop for her or not, and I couldn't because it would get flagged by customs. And I told her, I was like, I won't be able to ship this to you. It wouldn't even get through customs.
That's crazy. Like for a prop. That's crazy.
So, and they're really strict over there with their laws.
Like I thought they were strict with food and stuff, so I'm surprised to hear
No.
they're strict with like
Even weapons that are not real, they're pretty strict. So I was actually really bummed because she wanted to do Alice from Resident Evil, the Resident Evil Extinction. She had an image where she was carrying a minigun and an assault rifle. And I told her, I was like, I'd love to make that for you, but I won't get through customs. It just wouldn't.
Oh, no.
That has got to be frustrating on her end to want to go and do that cosplay and then like have those pieces be missing.
Yep.
Like, that would stink.
So, but ever since Alamo City Comic Con the first year, that's when I decided I want to start my business in making props. And I've made her armor, her Scorpina armor. She has it right here, a piece of it.
Piece of it.
And it's actually EVA foam.
So tell us what EVA foam is, and for people who don't know, like what it is or where they could get it from, or
EVA foam is actually the foam fatigue mats that you can buy. They're like exercise mats, so the things that you put your exercise equipment on, or if you do yoga on it. There's the packs that come in like 6 or 4 packs, but they're like they're giant sheets that are like little puzzle pieces you put together. And they come standard gray. So like the inside of it is actually this color, and you can really do anything with it, honestly.
So it has the clasps in there. Do you do like 2 layers on it so that it clasps together like that, or?
No, the clasps. What I did with this is I took the sizing for Jenny's arm, and the EVA foam was just the right enough thickness. I bought the buckles and everything, and I just dremelled it out with a rotary tool so that way I can cut a slot out and hot glued these in, so that way when she gets them, she can actually just clip them on, clip them off.
Gotcha.
It's different for any piece of armor, really. One of our other friends, she's doing her own version of Scarlet from Mortal Kombat, and the waist stomach area was a giant armor piece of EVA foam, same concept that I did with the clips, the plastic clips, so that she can clip it on and off. And I more or less do that so that it's easy to take on and off, because there are some cosplayers that will actually go the extra mile and make it to where it's like, no, these are metal buckles and metal clasps, and it's like, no, you don't have to do it that far. I mean, you can if you want the authentic look, but you can get the same look, because that's one piece of the equipment that's not going to be seen.
Right, people aren't checking your buckles. That
people aren't going to be, they're not going to be going that far into detail, because they're only going to see this.
So Jenny, what do you think about when you're wearing a piece like this? What do you think about as far as like the heat and stuff? Does this do well? Because here we are in Texas, right?
Oh, God.
So does something like this do well in the heat, or would you recommend, like, if somebody's planning on doing full armor, that they try to make sure they're indoors or drink lots of water, or what do you think as far as the heat level goes with something like this?
I think it depends on how often you've cosplayed for over a period of time, because I know, like, and it's not healthy, but I know I try to limit food and water intake, like, with cons. I mean, a lot of us do that.
Yep.
But it's more because you're always on your feet, and a lot of us wear nothing but layers. Like, my rogue, you think I'd just be able to go potty, but no. There's the suit. First, there's the gloves I have to take off. Then I have to take the little thumb thing off. Then the jacket. Then unzip, and then my cosplay undergarment, and then the actual undergarment, and then go. So it's like depends on how many layers, and if you have armor on top of that, whew. But if you just
I was having trouble on May the 4th. I was just having trouble with just the Jedi costume, because there's so many layers that you have to put on for it.
I decided, it's a good idea. Like, we spent all this time like sewing these Jedi robes and everything.
Then
and
it comes
like,
time you have to go to the bathroom. You're like, oh.
Yeah. And we went to work, like our regular jobs. So
no
I'm a
pockets.
school teacher, and he works at Citibank as a web developer. So here we are at work, like in our full regalia, then trying to go to work and go to the bathroom in your like little short period of time where you get to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Those, believe it or not, as minuscule as those things are, those are like the first things that we as cosplayers think about. Am I going to be able to go to the bathroom when I'm wearing this? No.
There was
Okay.
one woman I talked to, and she wears a corset. She doesn't eat or drink while she's in costume, because if she eats, she can't wear the corset.
There's a lot that can't even drive in a corset.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Like for my Nightcrawler, when I made my Nightcrawler cosplay.
Yeah.
Have you seen my Nightcrawler?
No, I haven't. I want to look. Is it on your props page?
It's on my cosplay page.
I saw that because you did a promo for a promo image for this. That was you
The
in
Nightcrawler?
the Nightcrawler?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. I
That
thought you
was
just
me.
made some of the stuff in there.
See him cosplay.
Okay.
Yes,
Like,
the
I've got to
one-
see this.
When I did my Nightcrawler cosplay, I forethought, I was like, I'm not going to be able to go to the bathroom in this, and that's just because it's the classic Uncanny version. So the original Nightcrawler, the one I actually have in my phone case, this Nightcrawler version. And
Yes, it's my favorite. Oh my god.
and when I forethought it, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to go to the bathroom in it. And when I wore it, I debuted it at Alamo City last year at Comic-Con. And it's just the Invisible Man suits that you can buy. It's one of those. And I took some red fabric and I cut it out to the shape. And I had to make sure I cut it out smaller because the spandex fabric will stretch. And I took some Warblood to give me the armor plating on the shoulder looks. And the rest of it is just ironed on with a Wonder Under. So that way it would stick. In that cosplay, I can't do anything, because I have essentially a leotard going underneath and over between my legs and on my back, and it's just one giant piece stuck onto me.
Wow.
So getting into that cosplay it's fun getting into it, because I have to, the tail that I made, I have to put the tail on first, and I have to get into the suit, and then my girlfriend has to like jimmy the tail through the hole that I made in the back. So she has to like just to pull my tail through, and I'm like, don't pull my tail, please don't pull it too hard. And so she has to pull the tail through, and then once I'm in the costume, I don't do anything. I don't eat, I don't drink, nothing. Because if I have to go to the bathroom for any reason, I have to pull the tail out. I have to take the armor off, and if I stretch it too far, the actual sewing that I did, I have to re-sew it, but it'll actually start coming undone because it's sewed right in the center at the bottom near the belly button area, and I have to slide everything off just to go to the bathroom.
And then when you're stuck at like a convention, just like, where do you have room to do that?
Exactly.
You try to go into a stall, there's not room in a stall.
No. So it is just one of those things where you have to think, when you do a cosplay, when you make any cosplay, that's one of the things that we as cosplayers, like, we think about prior. There's sometimes where we don't think about it because we're too excited that we want to do the cosplay,
Right.
and then we actually do it, and you're like, I can't go to the bathroom.
My
go ahead.
one issue is like I said, pockets.
Yes, pockets. And I
I
do
was
my
like,
Assassin's Creed.
You
I'm
need
glad
to
I have
like make
pockets.
pockets and stuff, because like Jedi outfit, there's no pockets, because you're wearing like a gi
robe
and a robe, and there's zero pockets, and you have to carry a bag.
Yep.
Oh, I always have someone, like, if they want me to get them a Comic-Con ticket, I'm like, okay, well, you're my handler though, so you're gonna
Well,
carry
that was
all
what I
this
was just gonna ask y'all. I was gonna ask you, do y'all buddy up and like, do you
Yes.
have friends that are your handlers? Because I know a lot of the cosplayers have handlers.
Yes, we
And
do.
if people are out there watching and they don't know what cosplay is, why don't y'all tell them kind of what the handler does? And
handler, especially for women,
Yep.
because I'm not a high heel person at all. I'm strictly flats, but especially when we cosplay a character that's in heels and we want to be as accurate as possible, you get those people that either will slap your butt or grope you or do something inappropriate, and you can't run or you can't do anything. So we have handlers, which are our bodyguards. They're our bodyguards. They make sure that if we need water, they're there. If they're able to follow us in the restroom, they can help us fix our wardrobe.
Carry the stuff, everything.
They can also carry our bags and everything. They take care of us. We take care of them. So
It's like a give and take relationship when it comes to the cosplay handler and the actual cosplayer. So I mean, if you're gonna cosplay and you're doing something really extravagant or really big, to the point where that you can't really do much on your own, it's good to have somebody there that will help you out throughout the entire convention. Because when you're there by yourself and you have no pockets, you have no
A giant
backpack,
tail.
you have a giant tail, you have no way of carrying your cell phone, it can toll on you. It really does.
well, then you kind of don't want to put all this work into everything and,
And then
then
feel
have
like-
to carry your bag or your purse or
Yep.
whatever, and then it detracts right from the look.
Yes.
So you kind of don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
So Jenny, you touched on something really quickly that I was gonna kind of talk to y'all about getting like grabbed and getting your butt slapped and things like that, and that's kind of come out more. People are starting to talk about that more now, and it's kind of been something that people were ignorant to, or people wanted to be ignorant to the fact that that was happening. So what would you recommend to people that are getting into cosplay, especially girls, especially younger girls, that they do to kind of protect themselves from that kind of mentality of, well, you're dressed that way, so it's I
It's
must
okay.
get to, yeah, you're dressed that way, so I must get to touch you and do whatever I want, right?
Put a taser in your gun. Your prop. There you go. Done.
Taser props.
Taser props.
Well,
That
like,
would be awesome. Dance, jackass.
have you ever danced with the devil?
Yes.
I asked that of all my prey.
Well, like for someone who's just now getting into the cosplay environment, and everything, and they're afraid of, because cosplay is not no consent.
Yeah.
So it's like just because you're dressed provocative, there's no sign around them that says "touch me."
Yeah, because it's not like you go out and go, oh, today I'm just going to dress really, really sexy because I want everybody to look at me. You're looking at these characters that were already pre-drawn or pre-created this way. They have a certain sex appeal that you're trying to mimic, and not because you want everybody to just go around grabbing on you,
Yeah.
but because you personally think the character's beautiful, right?
And I mean, there's a lot of people that will be like, well, this character didn't dress like this, whatever, but there's also a lot of fan art out there. And a lot of people want to interpret that fan art because it's beautiful or it's different. I know I'm one who doesn't want to be compared to like similarity to other cosplayers. If I see more than one, for example, Mystique, that's my love-hate cosplay ever. But I see either people dress up in the Jennifer Lawrence, Rebecca Ramon version, or the classical white dress comic version. I mashed both. I like to be different and all that, so, but it just depends. Like, it depends on what you're interested in or whatever, but also, you're gonna get the calls. I've gotten the cat calls. I haven't been groped because I've always had a guy around me. For some reason, they feel more intimidated when there's a guy around you.
Yes, and always have, if
Yeah.
you're a female cosplayer, have a guy handler or someone that is around you that is a guy, because people will feel deterred from doing anything because there's a guy there. They'll be like, okay, I'm not going to mess with that person. Like when my girlfriend does her Bombshell Harley. Bombshell Harley, all it is a bra and a jacket and shorts. That's it. And I'm next to her in my Bombshell Joker. People don't mess with her. They don't bother her because I'm there with her.
And she's got a mallet.
She carries a weapon.
She carries this mallet. This is the mallet.
Let's show it.
This mallet I made for her. This is actually a comic book artist rendition of the New 52 Suicide Squad Harley. And I was hoping he'd be at... there we go. So this was actually a take on the 70s Joker. I don't know if you've ever seen the 70s Joker action figure toy.
Our son is like a super huge Joker, super freak.
Well, if you look at that mallet, it actually has the Joker's face on it.
Nice.
On that
Nice.
70s mallet. So he actually did a comic book rendition of the 70s.
Show him this. I want him to see this on the side.
Yeah, he actually did a comic book rendition of the 70s Joker mallet and mashed it up with the New 52 Suicide Squad Harley.
That's light. That's not too bad.
Yes. And he did a comic book, and that was for one of his comic book arts. And I saw that picture, and I actually messaged him. He goes, he's the comic book artist that John Boy Myers. He's been doing a lot of art with League of Legends and Spawn, a lot of different comic arts. But I messaged him, and he was supposed to be at Alamo City Comic Con last year, but he had to cancel, so I'm hoping he's going to be there this year. But I told him I liked his mallet, and I'm going to bring it to life. That's the only mallet of its kind out there.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
That's the only mallet that I did extensive Google research. I put the picture that he drew into Google Art, the image search, and that's the only image that comes up is all his art that he's done, not an actual prop. And I've searched Suicide Squad mallet, I've searched 70s Joker mallet prop, everything. You can search anything, and it won't show up.
Nice.
So that's the only one of its kind.
Wow.
And it's
super spectacular. Like.
it took me a week to make.
So if somebody were to come and ask you, can you make me a mallet like this? How much would something like this cost?
Me personally, I'd probably charge something around the realms of $300. And the only reason is because everything's done by hand.
Mm-hmm.
The cuts are done. All the detailing you see, the drawn, that's all drawn. I did that completely by hand. The lips I'd had to do separate individually. I had to cut those and measure them precisely just to make sure that they're the exact same length that they needed to be. The tubing, it's actually underneath it is actually a concrete tube. So the concrete tube holders, like the 12-inch diameter ones you can find at Home Depot, that's what's underneath there.
Nice.
Nice.
I had to wrap it with the EVA foam. So all of this is EVA foam as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of squishy. You can press it. It's all done and wrapped by hand, all drawn, hand drawn. Everything is done by hand. So me personally, I'd charge probably somewhere around the rounds of $300, $250, depending on what they wanted. I heard it beep.
Yeah.
Did something drop or anything, or are we still going?
No, we're still going.
Cool.
But it varies. Like I said, most of my props are custom, so it varies on what the customer wants.
Mhm.
If they tell me exactly what they want, I look up how much materials are going to cost, how much I think time would take it would actually make, and I base that on my own work schedule because I also work part-time too. I mean, if I could do this full-time, I would, but I can't. So I take into account of how long everything would take, how long it would take to get the materials, because there's some materials that I don't have readily available to get, so I actually have to take the time to go look for them and find the best possible route to make something, and it varies on that, really.
Cool.
So what would you recommend for somebody who's just starting out? Let's say they wanted to try to make their own props. Do you think they should watch YouTube videos, or what do you think?
If you feel gifted enough, or not gifted, but if you feel like you have the ability to do so, then just go ahead and do it. Make it.
Just try it.
Just try it. When I started, I didn't watch any YouTube videos. I didn't watch any tutorials. There was one tutorial that I watched, and that was from Jennlee Cosplay. She's one of my favorite cosplayers. And now I actually bought her armor making book. There are different cosplayers that out there that actually, and even prop makers that actually sell their own books on how they do. Kamui is one of them. Punished Props is another one who does prop making books that he sells electronically.
He released one for free on his birthday.
Oh, really?
And I probably missed it. Dang.
It's an e-file. I'll send it to you.
Please do. Please do.
He's like, I've got the hookup.
Yeah. So I mean, there are other prop makers. There's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of us. Some more successful than others, and I actually look up to all of those prop makers. I've been in contact with Bill Doran from Punished Props. I talk to him personally on Facebook. I get insight from him, and Ted, Evil Ted, I talked to him. From Evil Ted Effects. I've talked with him personally on Facebook to get. I essentially talk to the prop makers and I pick their brain. So that's my way of learning how to do different things. I pick their brain to see how they go about doing something, and I find a different alternative that's either easier to get the same outcome, or I try their route, and I just go from there and I build on top of everything that I do and learn from it.
Okay, so I have a question from the chat. They want to know, how do you feel about how cons are starting to crack down on props?
Every con is different. There are cons that will allow certain types of props that are quote-unquote really realistic, and there are others that won't. A-Con in Dallas is one of them. I know for a fact when I went to A-Con, anybody who was cosplaying characters with guns, easiest thing to do is have a airsoft gun because it's got the orange cap on it and everything. They were actually taking away the magazines at prop check so that people wouldn't be running around shooting each other with plastic BBs or other cosplayers.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
Yes, it does. There are other cons, even at that con, my Assassin's Creed 3 cosplay, I have a fully 100% complete Connor Kenway cosplay. Props and all. I made every single prop handmade by wood. At that convention, the way I had made my holsters at the time, before I revamped them, is they were kind of like hook and loop holsters, so they buckled together and I could just hang my weapons on my belt loop. They actually wanted to tie down my props to my belt loop so that I could not take them out and pose with them. And if you've played Assassin's Creed 3, Connor Kenway has a very unique prop, and that's his tomahawk. It's in the shape of the Assassin's Creed symbol. That's his iconic prop. They actually made me zip tie them to my belt loop, and I couldn't take it out. And that's just because they were afraid it's a blunt weapon. It was a piece. It's completely made out of wood, so no EVA foam, no nothing. I hand carved it, painted it, stained it, everything, and they zip tied it to my belt loop. Good thing I made it buckle, so I unbuckled it, and I was still able to pose with it and everything. So I was like, forget this. This is my prop. This is like the iconic weapon of Connor Kenway. So
And that was from Alex Trevino
Yeah. So
from
Jennlee,
Geek Vengers.
do you feel like there's any kind of prop or anything that you get banned, that you might get banned for at a con, that would maybe kind of ruin the cosplay, and you would feel like maybe you wouldn't want to do that cosplay, or?
Let's see. I know with like Lara Croft Reborn, if they take away the ice pickaxe or if they take away the bow and arrows, I would just be walking. No one would really get it, I don't think. Especially because everyone knows Lara Croft as the booty shorts, you know, the classic one. But if I was just walking around looking homeless, they'd probably be like, you can't enter this con. But yeah, like,
the props make the character.
Yes, like I'm
really do.
obsessed with props, and if I see props that I really like, I'm like, I'm gonna cosplay that character because they have that, or especially archers. I love archers.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? That's your thing.
Even with McConnor, like I made the bows, like the actual arrows, and I made the bows. And at some conventions, I think it was San Japan? Yeah, San Japan. They actually zip tied all my arrows together in my quiver. And I was like, I can't even take the bow off my back. You're zip tying the arrows? It's like, I'm not going to use it. The bow is non-functional. It doesn't bend. It just looks like his bow. And they zip tied all the arrows together. And I was like, okay.
I think it depends on the
It really
con,
depends on the
actually.
con.
I think it's got to be the bigger ones that have got to be more cautious, because you know that somebody somewhere has done something stupid, right?
That you're not supposed to do, and
that
it
you're
ruins
not
it for
supposed to
everybody.
do,
Yep.
and then everybody's like,
I do know that for a lot of the bigger cons, some of them are very lenient. And like, for instance, San Diego Comic-Con, that's a huge convention. I'm almost positive I don't even think they have a prop check, and if they do, they have different stations set up throughout the entire convention.
But
such a
when
big
you
con, you can't do just
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and
when you look at San Diego Comic-Con compared to like most any other cons that we go to, they probably have a lot more insurance.
oh yeah, so they're a lot more lenient
Yeah.
on props.
yeah.
So
They'll be a lot less liable to have to pay for it because the insurance is going to pay for it
so
if something happens.
Whenever I make a prop for someone out of state or out of country, I ask them which convention is this for. And the only reason I ask them that is because I want to make sure that they're going to be able to carry the prop into the convention. So I'll actually go online and I'll research, and most websites that have conventions, they'll actually have their prop regulations for what's allowed and what's not allowed. And I actually go in there and I read everything that's allowed and what's not allowed, and that actually determines how I go about making the prop, and also determines the price-wise of the prop.
Right.
So most of my props are made at EVA foam, so they're all con-friendly. You're able to take them into conventions. I haven't seen
Do
any
you
of
use
my-
the airsoft guns often, or you use more of the Nerf type?
I try to stick with the Nerf, only because a lot of the prop weapons that I make are more futuristic and they look more out of this world, and a lot of the Nerf guns already look like that.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like, I already have the base, and when this client came to me for this one, I looked up the blueprints and I saw it, and I was like, I have that gun already somewhere, and I'm like scrounging around my apartment, and it's on the floor just laying there. I'm like, I'm gonna use it.
It's funny how, like in the episode 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars, they had the communicators. Well, the communicators were like a lady's
Razor.
razor that they made the communicators out of. It's
So
like a
even
Gillette
professional
sensor.
prop makers do that, where they just make
They
it
find
out of
something
yeah,
and
they
make it-
find
They
stuff.
use salt shakers for things for props in Star Trek in the original series.
Well, that's what I used for one of my the very first Dark Knight Rises Catwoman goggles with the headgear. I bought the Halloween costume and I just tweaked it a bit and altered it as my own. Well, I have the goggles it came with and kind of put the gold accents on it, and then for because it came with a headband with the cat ear glasses on top, but I wanted it to be so function, so I took it off the headband and I used tongue depressors, the screw head, earplugs. What else did I use? Tie wraps, even the little flashlight keychain holders, the flashlights. I used just the basic stuff you can find, and all that was probably under $20, and I just painted all black and everything. And I had the glasses to where they actually folded down and lit.
Oh, nice.
And everyone thinks, oh, that's so awesome, where did you... And I'm like, if you actually look closer, you can see what I'm talking about.
But there's a certain satisfaction, right, of like making something
Oh, yeah,
and then
definitely.
everybody's like freaking out like that.
Well,
piece
like
that
this.
Vince has.
This is one of the kids' like toys.
It was a toy.
It was a toy. It's an Cyclops, and
That's really cool.
I just saw that. I was like, this would. I bet we could steampunk this. And then I was like, well, let me just get some gold paint, silver paint, and get some like reddish paint and just put it on there. And then this is what came out of it. So I've done stuff like that. I've done stuff like I made those little capsules, the Jedi food capsule things. And I went to Dollar Tree and bought like
They were like
highlighters,
Sharpies, like fake Sharpies.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's essentially what cosplay
and then
prop
found like
making is.
buttons, and then put it at the bottom of it to like close it off, and then just did a paint job on it, and they came out pretty good.
Yeah, that's what prop making is really for me. It's finding already what's around you, and taking that as a base and turning it into something else. I mean, there's so many items. Nintendo 64 controllers I can make into tridents if I wanted to.
Nice.
I mean, you just it's more along the lines of seeing something and then thinking outside the box of what it could be, not what you see it as.
Yeah.
And you get this like really great satisfaction when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
done. Like, I found this thing at this thrift store. It looked like this before, and now I turned it into this.
Yes. So
Right?
it's a huge satisfaction when it comes to prop making or even cosplay. It's like, because a lot of cosplayers, I know for a fact a lot of the steampunk cosplayers, they will ravage a thrift store and just completely go through everything, every single aisle, and take anything that they can possibly use for their cosplay for steampunk. And it's you have to find what you're able to do. Either if you're not capable of making it from scratch, it's finding the next best thing that you can tweak and alter yourself to make it look like what you want it to. So
Yeah, and that's the key right there. Make it look like what you want it to. You're
Exactly.
out there to cosplay for yourself because you're having fun.
Yep.
This is my casual cosplay. I wear it all the time. I love Donatello. So, thrift store, green shorts. Thrift store, this is like over for a bathing suit or whatever. This is my New York scarf because they're from New York, right? My tank top from Walmart, it was like $1.25.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have my Converse and stuff, and it's my Donatello. And people get
that's
that's like what...
as long as they get the concept, it's like
You know
you were
what's funny?
successful.
You know what's funny is I got April in the back of the car right now.
Nice.
Nice. So your costumes, do you make a lot of your costumes, or?
A lot of them, yes. The April one I bought from Veronica. She's also one of the members of 501st. She was also one of the Texas Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah. I think we had her on during
Alamo City. Uh-huh.
Probably. Yeah. And she was selling, she's making room to buy like upcoming bigger projects. And one of them was April. She was trying to sell. And I'm like, I want her. So I got her and everything. But like this was my very first one I ever made. It was so much fun too to make it look dirty and everything. And then like the other
Roll
ones,
around in the grass. Yeah.
my very favorite one, mostly because I can just be myself, is Vanellope Von Schweetz, and from Wreck-It Ralph.
From Wreck-It Ralph. Yes.
You still gotta make that go-kart.
Oh yeah, and that's actually what we've been brainstorming behind the scenes. We're shooting for PAX 2017, right?
Like using like suspenders or something so you can wear it? Or
We're actually gonna make
An actual
drivable.
functional one.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wow.
We made a group of several of us, and we're like
So
picking
are y'all all
characters.
gonna dress up like the Wreck-It Ralph crew? Oh my god, y'all are ridiculous.
We're
I
gonna
love
try
it.
to. We're gonna. My girlfriend's involved as well, and she wants to do it as well. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be.
Even if we don't make it to get tickets in time, we're still gonna drive around that same weekend in San Antonio.
Like little electric go-karts. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's spectacular. Oh my
Well,
god.
apparently they're working with a lot of us in San Antonio to give more of the local scene more of a presence there at the next at the next one, at the next PAX South. So hopefully I'll get you in contact with somebody that's helping us out with that.
It's gonna be really cool.
That would be super fun to see. Like, I would die to see that. I'm not even gonna lie. Now I think I'm
it's
gonna
almost
have
as
to
crazy
do.
as my idea is to get a whole group of us to dress up like seagulls from Finding Nemo and just go around the convention. Mine. Yes! I want to do that so
Nice.
bad.
That would be
Cool.
awesome. And then you just have like one rogue seagull that's actually like doesn't want to be part of your group, and they're from Little Mermaid, and they got like dingle hoppers and everything. And they're like,
That'd be so fun. Just walk around. Mine. Have a little crab.
You
in the
can't
center.
have my dingle hopper, and he's like blowing bubbles with a pipe.
Go hang out by the food court. Mine?
It's like I've always had that idea just to want to do that one day at a convention.
That would be
That
fun.
would be brilliant. That would be
Override the
super brilliant.
Deadpools
Yes.
Finally.
That would be awesome.
with seagulls.
I think you have to do that. I think.
I,
it should
I
be
think
next.
with the Deadpool movie, the Deadpools have to step up their game.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
with their
definitely.
costuming.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
If they're gonna do it, they have to step up and make a better costume.
didn't Cookie already start? I think.
I know I saw one on the Replica forum page
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. Someone actually did a cross-up of Spider-Man and Deadpool, and it looked really awesome. It was
Oh, really?
it was like the Spider-Man that they just released on Civil War,
Oh,
and
which
I
I thought was fabulous.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
Okay, we won't spoil it for you, but you like insanity. You gotta go.
We can't
Did-
talk.
Thursday.
You haven't seen it?
No!
We can't
I've been a
talk.
little busy.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
Al-
sorry.
Al
you have.
And Jenny has no reason.
Yeah, I don't.
Jenny has no reason whatsoever.
It's like torture sitting in the room with someone that hasn't seen it because then you want to talk about it and you can't. You're like,
yes, you're like, but I want to say those things. This one, that.
Yeah, but we're holding out for our viewers because some of our viewers haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
different.
we'll hold off. We usually hold off on the show just because the viewers haven't seen it yet. So.
That Game of Thrones is different though.
Game of Thrones is TV,
I don't have
and
cable.
it's not Marvel.
I don't have cable.
So I'm taking y'all are Marvel people, yes? Or
I'm the Marvel one. My girlfriend's a DC. She's obsessed.
right with the Harley Quinn
Harley.
and
She's obsessed
everything.
with
Same
Yeah.
thing with
Harley
my
Quinn.
boyfriend. He was Bane 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's-
His Bane is legit. He
Are
even
we
does the
talking comic
vocal
Bane or movie Bane?
movie Bane.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
He even
torn in my
shaved his
household.
head just for that.
Really?
Wow.
So
I was
he
like-
went.
Yeah, there's some cosplayers that go all out. Like me with my Nightcrawler. This is my Nightcrawler hair. It's gonna be gone tomorrow, but this is. I literally, when I debuted Nightcrawler last year, I waited 5 months, 6 months to get my hair to Nightcrawler hair, classic style.
Nice.
And once it came, I was like, sprayed my hair blue, did everything, went to the convention. The next week came Wednesday, shaved off my hair because it gets too hot.
Oh,
I waited.
What I imagine right now, too, it's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
pretty hot. It was hot today.
Oh,
yeah, it was super hot and muggy and disgusting today. I hated it.
I can't wear Assassin's Creed Connor in this heat.
No.
I die.
I was dying in my Jedi robe. I was like,
I legitly bake alive in my Connor cosplay.
Yeah.
And that's just because the undershirt I made from an old thermo suit, like the actual like long john style,
Uh-huh.
I cut it in half and it was my dad. And I made it from that, so it's really thick wool type material. Then the actual coat and the
Coat,
hood and the
uh-huh.
pants are all denim. Like straight denim. And I'm wearing that.
Wow.
I am
Yes.
gonna do my first ever screen accurate cosplay, which I am looking forward to debuting at Elm City Comic Con. Hopefully, I mean there is no hopefully. I'm going to do it.
You're like,
Um,
this is happening, people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. done a lot of research on this one. I'm going to be Nymeria Sand from season 5, season 6 of Game of Thrones. So, and I'm gonna learn the whip. I'm gonna learn how to actually do the whip.
Really?
You're gonna hurt somebody. Don't do that.
So
that's
you're going to make her whip out of something non-harmful.
Well, there are some
Marshmallows
things that you
or-
can and cannot do.
It's a
You can't make a
marshmallow
whip
whip.
safe.
You can't make a whip safe. It doesn't even matter if it's nylon rope. That thing's gonna hurt somebody.
Make it out of foam.
It would just look flimsy. Just
I still probably get hurt.
Braid
by
it.
mine.
Braided foam. There you go. Give
braided
it
foam. That'd be very intricate and delicate because if you do it wrong, it would tear once you tighten it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
I kind of want to go home and try it now.
Now this is happening.
I want to try
Now,
it
have
now.
you seen a lot of the stuff that they're doing now with like the HEB bags and stuff like that?
With how they're braided and things?
Yeah. Yeah, and like making like almost like fabrics and stuff out of
I know.
like HEB bags and stuff like that.
That one celebrity recently, she I saw it on the search bar on Facebook.
Emma Watson
Yes,
Yeah.
her
Hermione.
dress was all.
was completely all recyclables. Yep.
It looks pretty
So
too.
maybe that'll be the next step for you because you can get a bunch of HEB bags for free.
Actually, my cousin's wife made a tote bag out of the plastic shopping bags. Just wove them all together and made a freaking tote bag.
And it's waterproof.
And it's waterproof and it's heavy duty, and you can carry like a ton of bricks in it.
I have a lot
Wow.
of plastic bags at my house now.
It's like things are getting
He's like,
made.
I
okay?
have new ideas.
Yup. I have plenty of plastic bags to do stuff with now. Getting rid of the corner.
Very cool. But you know, guys, thanks for coming in. It's been over an hour, so we've been talking for a long time.
Wow.
But we've talked about a lot of stuff. We actually talked about the exoplanets, and then we talked about Jennlee Cosplay, and we talked about CM Prop Works.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. We can't wait to have you on again, and
Definitely.
hopefully
Thanks
see
so
you,
much.
see you
I have
in more
many
costumes. And
works.
what do you have there?
My crate or critter.
It's Critter.
She did a little.
I'm terrified of these things, and one of my cosplay friends, he told me turn your fear into a cosplay. So I actually became Lee the bounty hunter from Critters 2.
Nice.
Yes, she wore it at ACC last year. It's really good too.
Nice.
Really cool. So it's
Cage your fears.
exactly
you
cosplay
spit-
is life.
You should put LEDs in the eyes.
That's
now.
They were
I'm
actually
actually
talking
gonna-
about that right
Yeah.
before the show.
We were
Actually,
talking
they were
about
already
that.
talking
That would
about
be
that.
cool.
So that is happening.
Yes.
I'll help her out with that because I have a bunch of LEDs on the way for this little thing, and I got to make a heat wave gun too. He's also commissioned me to do a heat wave, so I'm gonna have Captain Cold and heat wave. Heat wave's gonna be
Nice.
on the way. That's actually gonna be made out of a heat gun. It's broken, but I'm gonna take out and strip out the wiring in there from the plug, rewire it to actually work with the switch on the heat gun to where it turns on and off with a battery pack built in, and that's gonna be heat wave's gun when it's done.
That's
Cool.
gonna be cool.
So I'm looking forward to that.
If somebody wants to get a hold of you, either of you, could you let them, our audience, know how to get a hold of you?
You first.
I have to remember what it is. Okay, on Facebook, I have www.facebook.com. What is it? Slash?
Mm-hmm. Backslash.
The
Oh,
backslash.
yeah, backslash, and then it's Jennlee Cosplay. Don't forget the little S in Jennlee's Cosplay. And then on there, there'll also be a picture that shows you all my other medias, Twitter, Instagram. That's it for right now, I think.
Me personally, I have my cosplay page and my prop page. If you want to commission a prop for me, it's going to be www.facebook.com/cosplay.props.needs. And my cosplay page is CMM Cosplay. And I also have a Twitter. It's Ojaboji, at Ojaboji. It's OJABOJI. And you can get a hold of me on any one of those. I will respond very quickly because I keep up to date. I hate when you contact somebody and it's like it tells you how long they usually respond. It's like usually responds in 4 hours, and I'm like, oh god.
Especially when they just read it and you're like, you read it!
Yeah, especially when they just read it. No, I respond very quickly. I don't like keeping people waiting. I find it rude.
Cool.
So
It totally is rude, so thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate that 'cause I
Yes.
think it's horrible.
I find it rude to keep people waiting when you message someone. So if you give me a hold of there or get a hold of her, we'll get back to you like ASAP.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, again, thanks for coming by. And thanks again for watching.
It's been fun.
It's been really cool. It's been really fun. I'm Vince.
That's Jenny. That's Carlos. I'm Colleen.
Geek Out SA.
Woo!